Greetings, this is your SpaceWingman, and this is the first episode of my, well, let's call it Loadout series. Where I construct loadouts for specific situations or missions in Warframe. Why? Well, sometimes Warframe offers missions or mission types you need, well, a kind of, well, certain or specialized setup for it. And, building yourself some loadouts or with a specific setup saves you a lot of time. So, yeah, my goal is in this series to create a loadout that serves a specific need or mission in Warframe that at some minimum baseline should enable you at all times to stand up to a level 100 bombard. Why? Well, if your complete setup of Warframe containing a Warframe, primary, secondary weapon, and a melee weapon, and you can't take down level 100 bombard, then the loadout is kinda, well, useless. And if possible, I mean, not mandatory, because some specific Warframe missions don't need you to be able to stand up to a group of level 155 bombards. So, but if possible, we do it, and overall, I try to not use one weapon for all loadouts, kind of keep the setup diverse. So I try not to, well, use for every setup the same weapons, you know. Kind of, yeah. Yeah, you can. There's not much explanation needed. So, how does one set up a loadout? So, you go to your arsenal. There are actually two ways to do this. On the lower right corner, probably have seen this. You can rename the setup, the loadout, randomize the setup, which I'm not doing because, and you click either on the lower left corner on this little thingy and can then, well, set up your loadout. And then you can basically jump in and out of what you want or what you don't want. So let's start with the defense setup. Defense missions. They come often in this game, regularly, and sometimes you want to be able just to get it over with, or to get in with the best possible setup. So I'll try to explain why I did things, and then we kind of jump into a defense mission, or, well, defense mission to check out if that loadout is viable. So first, yeah, this is, I mean, before I start, maybe I should mention, there's no such thing as a, well, wrong or right setup. So this is not the ultimate way to do things. This is just how I do the setup. So if at some point the game asks me to do a defense mission, I just switch into this, and then, yeah, I'm done. So, yeah, let's start. Mesa. Yeah, you can find me on this. At the beginning, I rolled with Vauban. He was kind of my defense go-to guy, but on higher level, I mean really high level, over level 100, Vauban gets kind of crushed. I haven't managed to kind of get over his lack of survivability in high level missions, but that's just my problem. So I choose Mesa because when you play Mesa, it's not really necessary to move a lot, even though it kind of helps as Mesa, but you can kill everything in the room by yourself while not moving a lot. So yeah, that's why I have chosen for this setup, which is not fixed. It's just I have the best experience so far with it. So yeah, Mesa, let's Let's see what I've done. Modded. Okay, let's ignore the arcanes because not everybody has arcanes. But if you're interested, I'm still grinding them out. On damage, getting a little bit more armor for a little bit survivability, and on reload, I get, well, more damage on my pistols because, well, it's kind of a pistol affinity of affine Warframe. So yeah. So yeah, what did I think? Why have I done this way? Corrosive projection. If you have played the game for any amount of time, you know after a while, the higher the levels gets, armor just scales to a degree where you just need any edge to get the armor off. So yeah, power drift, lunar mod, just a little bit more ability strength and a chance to resist knockdown, which is kind of for Mesa nowadays really an issue, because if enemies get too close or just knock you down, you're dead. Half dead. I mean, half dead on high level missions. Flow, blind flow, doesn't matter which one, you just need the energy max as much as you can. It's not really necessary to have the primed version of these, but yeah. Transient fortitude, it's kind of my compromise. I've played around with certain well, setups. So far I'm rolling with this. Yeah, so far I'm rolling with this. It doesn't matter. I mean, you can just put an intensify if you don't have transient fortitude on it. It's okay. And both efficiency, increasing mods, fleeting expertise, and streamline, because Mesa's number 4 eats up a lot of energy. Even though you don't, I mean, I don't tend to run with Mesa's 4 all the time. It kind of helps to kind of, well, avoid any energy deficiencies. And yeah, Constitution, faster knockdown recovery, ability duration, because, well, to kind of, which is kind of not a good idea, but I'm just running with it. Vitality for a little bit more survivability, and that's it. So, in defense missions, it's kind of sometimes the enemy, especially corpus enemies, rush you with, well, nullifiers. So how do you get rid of them? Well, either you take a clear shot at the bubble and shoot it, pop the bubble, or you just drop well, your weapon with high fire rate on the bubble and get the bubble to burst that way. Prisma Grakata. Yeah, there are better weapons to do this, but I take this weapon with me, well, because it's fun. Just fun. And, okay, you don't need a Riven for that, but it kind of helps with the experience to just be able to, at a certain point, to strip an enemy of armor or drop a weapon on it with high fire rate. And, yeah, nothing special here. Okay, you can fight me on this. This is special, but this is a good setup. Yeah, before the changes to, well, most Warframes who have certain weapons attached to them, I rolled with the Agmagus.
If I may say, Operator, your chosen Warframe suits you.
Oh, thank you, Ordis.
Ha.
Just, it's kind of a hybrid setup. I'm not using it as much. It's just when I'm getting downed. It's not important anymore what your secondary does, but the Agmagus in my book is, yeah, it's a okay weapon. Hornet Strike, more critical chance. You don't need the primed version for this. More crit chance, more crit damage, baffle diffusion, lethal torrent, the trifecta of, well, secondary weapons, Jolt, Pistol, Pestilence, and Auger Pact. Okay, you can fight me on this. A lot of people just ignore the status aspect. I understand that. Corrosive shouldn't be here. I understand that too, but I just put it in. It's not that important, but it's okay. You can down a lot of enemies with that still. So I mean, level 100 Bombard has still to fear you just with the Egg-Magus. So
Tenno, a new alert has begun.
Wow.
It will be marked on navigation.
Thanks, fake Locust. You brought me out of my concept. So, where are we at? Zenistar. Yeah, lock-in reward weapon. Not everybody has this now. As depends on if the low lock-in reward system will be changed, which probably will. So, yeah, I don't go into melee combat with Mesa in defense missions. This is only I'm using only the Zenistar for the disc to throw the disc at the enemy's feet and to inflict major corrosive damage and a little bit of blast damage to just hold them off a little. This is not combat ready at all. This is really just for the moment in the release. Crowdfall. Yeah, it's Crowdfall. Ability where you just drop the disc. The disc drops this damage in a certain area. And yeah, it makes certain defense missions a little bit easier. And yeah, nothing. I mean, if you know this weapon, you already know its purpose and usefulness. Regulators. Yeah. I have not really optimized the setup. I go with high crit, the trifecta of secondary weapon mods, and a little bit of status and damage. Mostly corrosive to be easily able to get down. I mean, to take down to take down corrosive, well, high armor targets in your sights. Another point rarely gets talked about, but I play around with the companions a little bit and choose the companions to complement the setup. So in Mesa, I mean, if an enemy gets too close and the enemy has bypassed the Zenistar disc, I use Dirigra. So, of course, people are gonna say, okay, maybe you should have put in a Worm Prime to just get enemies, push enemies away, but Worm's ability is not that reliable to kind of push enemies back when they come too close, especially when it's a horde. In defense missions, you don't have, I mean, in my opinion, you don't have much space to maneuver, so you need to kind of stop them. So I choose the Riga, Electropulse. Every 5 seconds, Sentinel will continually zap an enemy within 15 meters, turning them into a stunned state. This helps. If you get rushed and you have no energy, you can jump out. Calculated shot for the primary weapon. In arc coil and will zap up to 7 enemies within 10 meters. So additional damage source. So the Diriga, when somebody comes close to you or in your range, gets first shot 70 meters away, then 15 meters, and then 10 meters. Gives you at least a chance to slow somebody down, or on low levels to just flat out kill him. Shield Charger, well, it does what it does. Increases max shields and increases shield regeneration. Because sometimes, your shield, you need your shield. Guardian, the must put on, I think. Boosts Una shield by 100% when it runs out. So if somebody steals your shield, it's back up. Primed regen, normal regen, doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter. It gives you, well, regenerates Diriga 3 times. Sacrifice, if I get, well, downed, you know, Sentinel sacrifices itself, triggers primed regen, and is back. So if your team doesn't help you, your Sentinel will. Enhance vitality to kind of, well, increase health. Coolant leak. Sentinel has a 3-meter freeze aura, slowing incoming enemies by 10%. Yeah, it does what it does. It's not super effective. It's actually not effective at all. But I put it on just to get a little edge, just a little edge. Yeah, you just need to get away at some point, and freezing an enemy. Freeze. They're not frozen. The freeze aura just slows them down. So, in best case scenario, just slow down that I can't jump away, or one of these kick in, and well, yeah. I mean, it's debatable, but it does at least something, and from time to time it can help you, but it's not super effective. And vacuum. Detects and collects items. You need it. I need it. We all need it. And as primary weapon, the Wulkalok. I haven't really put much time into this. Maybe I should drop another former on this. It's just basically a sniper rifle. Yeah, there's actually not much to say. Critical chance. I went for gas magnetic just for funsies. If there is an enemy with high shields or something, crit damage.
The system continues to fall into chaos. Check navigation.
It's already in chaos, Lotus. What are you talking about? And yeah, nothing special, nothing maxed out, because you have basically to level up 2 mods to fully effectively use Sentinel weapons. So I mostly use Sentinel weapons. I mean, if I use a rifle, I use the Sweeper Prime, and vice versa, to be able to use the maxed out setup. Which, if you build more setups, is kind of helpful, because then you immediately see, let's see over here, if they're already used by your Warframe, or well, your primary or secondary weapon. So you have a little bit, well, you have a little room to play around with the setup. Yes, this is not super effective, but at least it does something. It's just, yeah, it does something. Okay. Defense. Let's see how this does in your average defense mission. Hey, let's solo this. Let's jump in to the void. Defense, infestation. Yeah. It's not super high level, but if you have seen Mesa in action or own Mesas yourself, you know what's coming now. So if at any given time you need just a stable, halfway worked out.
The enemy is at our doorstep.
Oh, no shield mode.
You must defend our equipment until reinforcements arrive.
But there's nobody coming. Dropping the disc. Wow, 10 rounds. I know this looks mega lazy. And it is. You know, you go into a defense mission, you don't need to move. You don't need... really to move. And this is how you take the disc back. Whoa! And get killed. Okay, my Sentinel should do something. Oh, okay. Totally missed that. I mean, normally people just put on the disc. Ah, damn, I should have put sacrifice before Prime Region. But sometimes I just place the disc somewhere else at the spawn point. But hey, this can happen. And when you get an attack, don't forget to press 3. Get just a little bit of, well, damage reduction. What the? I placed the disc. Bum, bum, and yeah, this is it. Defense. I hope you liked. Whoa, the first episode of Warframe Loadout setups. I'm gonna do some more. If you have any suggestions to make this setup better, drop a comment. I'm getting. Okay, don't drop too much energy on this, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I tested this so far. You can really go in 1 hour defense missions with this setup so far. As long as somebody is there to help you up. And yeah. Loadout system kind of helps, but I must warn you, if you start creating your own loadout systems, you will spend a lot of time in them, especially, well, at the beginning you don't have as much. You get every 2 mastery rank levels a new loadout slot automatically, and or you pay 20 platinum for 1 loadout slot. So test them out if you like, and if you have a specific setup or a reason for that setup, hit me up. So, thanks for watching and all the good things, and woo! Okay, I placed the Zenith, probably not in the right position. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you all later. Bye bye.